Hello everyone. First of all, Merry Christmas to all of you. And today we are going to talk about the real world example of the block pattern. So I already talked about block pattern in one of my videos, in which I explained how actually block pattern works and what is block pattern, what is streams. So I explained all of these on a whiteboard. So if you haven't watched that video, then you can find the link in the description and you can watch it. Apart from that, today we will go and see how we can implement this block pattern in one of our apps, and this is just a very normal smaller example so that you can understand. Then I am also thinking about making an entire app using block pattern. So what's your point of view for that? Please leave that feedback in the comment. So right now, as you can see, I have this main dot, and the right screen which you are seeing on the simulator is something which we want to create. Okay, this is like what we want to do whenever you enter something in the email. So until unless it is valid, it should show something like enter a valid email. As you can see, it is showing this red kind of outline which is saying that this email is not correct. Okay, and if I'll enter the password, then also it should show until unless it is valid, it should show this error that password length should be more than 4. Okay, and what we want, until unless both email and password are valid, this submit button should not be clickable. Okay, and for the time being, what's our criteria for email to be valid is that it should have @ symbol. Let's say if I enter @symbol, that means this is like a right email, but it is not right now. But just for understanding, let's say that if there is an @symbol, then it is a correct email. And for password, we have to obviously enter more than 4 characters, and then you can see this submit button will be enabled. So this is what we want to achieve in this particular app. So let me just show you what we have right now. So this is not something which like there are a lot of things which we can do with this block pattern, but right now, as you can see in this main dot, there is not anything which you cannot understand. So that's why, because I want to save your time, so that's why I wrote this example. So basically, there is a scroll view. Inside that, we have a column in which we have a text field as well as another text field, first one for email, second one for password, and then a button which is for submit. Now we have to use stream builders to make this work when we are using block pattern. So this is what you can see, this is what we have right now. And let me just change this tlex set. Okay, if I'll enter something in the email, nothing is working right now. Okay, and the submit is disabled. So how you will achieve the particular thing which I showed you? Okay, so let me just work for like how we will do it. So first of all, we need to make a block. Okay, a block class for this page. And there can be multiple ways of making blocks. So either it can be a global block, which can be a block for the whole application, or you can make different block components for different pages. So it's totally your choice. And then also the way of implementing block can be multiple, but there are certain rules which you need to follow, and I talked about those rules in my last video. So what I'm going to do, I'm making a class called block.dart. Okay, and what we are going to do here, we have to create some blocks. So let me just show you how we can create. So first of all, I'll give this class a name called block. Okay, this is the normal block we have. Now as you can see on the screen, we have one email field and one password field and one button. So there are three key things. And first of two, like there are two things which will give us input. So email is for taking the input and password is also for taking the input. So we will make a stream controller for both of them. So what we can call it, let's say final email controller. Okay, which can help us in getting the email value, and we can just use stream controller here. Okay, and now we need to import the async, and what we can do, we can just say dart async. Okay, and this is showing me an error. Why? Because we need to specify what type of stream controller you want to use. Okay, and right now it's showing me error. Okay, let's see. It's saying that it is not defined for the class. Okay, let's see what we have. Stream controller, yes, here it is. Okay, so this is the stream controller. Now what kind of input you think that this email can take? So it will be string, right? Because whatever you will enter in the email field will be a string. Okay, so I'll just specify the type, which is string. Now still it is showing me a warning. That means that, you know, whenever you use a stream controller, you have to care about how you will close it. Okay, so what we can do, we can make an abstract class here. Probably, let's say we will call it base block, let's say, and there we can have a method called dispose, so that we can use this class everywhere, and we will have a dispose method. Okay, so what we can say here, that it implements uh, base block. Okay, if you don't know about it, then you can also leave it, because it's like you should know about how we use interfaces. So this is abstract class, and there is no interface keyword in Dart. So this is how we, if we are implementing this, then this will work like a interface, and if we extend it, then it will work like a normal abstract class. Okay, so inside this dispose, what we will say, that, you know, if it is not null, then close it, then the error is gone, as you can see. Now similarly, we will make another one for password controller, so that we can get the password input as well. Okay, so I'll again use a stream controller here. Okay, and this is fine. So now I want to close it as well, so nothing uh, crazy here. So this password can also take a type of string. Okay, now there can be two types of stream controller. This is a single subscription, and if you want it to be a broadcast stream controller, then you can use something like this. Okay, and if you're using rxstart, then you can use either publish subject, behavior subject, or even replay subject. Those are all the stream controller with type, with like a broadcast stream subscription. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Now whenever you will make an input to this email, you also want some output, right? That you know, if this is valid or not valid, or if it is not valid, then what kind of error we want to show. So for that, what we need, we need a stream. Okay, so as I told you, as I explained you, that in if we are talking about a stream, it is kind of a pipe. There will be some input and there will be some output. This event or this input is provided by something called stream sync, and this output is actually exposed by something called stream. Okay, and and you can also call it like uh, if we talk about this stream, this is controlled by our stream controller, and stream controller exposes the input via the property which is stream sync, and exposing the output via the property called stream. Okay, and this is the stream, and we will use a getter here, and let's name it that email stream, or whatever you want to name it, it's totally your choice. Okay, so what we can also call it, let's say email, normal email. And now what I will do, I will say that go to stream email controller, takes its value through stream dot transform. So now I am using a stream transformer. So what I can do, when the value is inserted in the stream, or it's inside that pipe, then I can transform it. I can check whether it is having the @ symbol or not, whether the number of characters are more than 4 or not. Okay, so for that scenario, we will make a validator class, which is a type of mixin class, you can say. So earlier we could use something like a class keyword and then validators, but now after Dart 2.1 you can directly use mixin rather than a class. Also, it's totally your choice. Now here I'll take two variables. First is email validator, okay, and as you can see in the block that this transform will take a stream transformer. So here we will make a stream transformer, so we can say stream transformer, okay, and now we need to import it as well, I guess. Wait a second, let's import manually. Now it has a method called it has a method called from handlers, okay. We can use this method and we can handle the data. So here it give me a callback of handle data. It will give me two things. First will be the email which we are getting, or the string of email which the user is inputting, and the another one will be the sync where I can add the error or add the data. That's what it is giving me, okay. So what I am gonna do is, if I'll check if this email now for better understanding what kind of type of this email and sync will be, I can specify it here that it will be a type of email will be a type of string and sync will also be a type of string, so that it can understand that this is a string type, and then it will not give us, it will give us the all the option like this, that if email dot contains, so we can directly use this you can say what ID is gonna show you that what kind of method it can have and all that. So if the email dot contains at the rate, then what we will say that sync dot add this email, that I mean it's this is a valid email, so you can add it to the sync so that we can have this data. Else if it is not contains, if it doesn't contain any kind of at the rate symbol, that means it's invalid. So we can say sync dot add error, and then we will add this email, we will add the error. So let's say email is invalid or not valid, whatever you want to call it. Similarly, we will copy this code and we will paste it, and we will replace this email validator as password validator, okay. And here the type would be same, it will take string only, and that is fine. But here rather than email dot contains, we will say that rather than email we can call it password, and we will say password dot length should be greater than 4. Then we will add this password, okay. And let me just remove this. Otherwise we will say that password length should be greater than 4 chars, or whatever you want to call it. So this is what we have. So basically these are two stream transformer. So whenever you will give some input to them, they will check if it is a valid email, then they will add this to the sync, otherwise they will add an error to the sync, so that we can use this error directly using our snapshot of a stream builder. And now what I will do, I will say that it extends an object class, and with we use with keyword for using mixins. So we can use here validators, okay. Now I guess we need to import them as well, so I'll directly import validator dot dart. And rather than the now we are streaming this email which is our output, and we are saying that we were listening to this email controller dot stream dot transform. Now we need to provide a transformer, so that will be our email validator. So this is our email transformer. Now same thing we will do for password. So we are also streaming the password. So rather than email controller we will say password controller, and rather than email validator we will say password validator. We are done. Okay, now one thing we need is that we want to check if both have correct data, then only we want to enable the submit button. And for that functionality we can use rxstart. So because it has some operators which can help us, without using rxstart it will be little difficult to do this, because then you have to manually check if it has data, then you will make some variables and then you will do a lot of things. So to avoid that, what you can add, you can directly add a rxstart package here, correct, and then you will go back to your block and then you will say import rxstart and this. And now we will make another stream of type boolean this time, that if, and let me just complete submit check, that whether we can submit or not. So what we will do here, we will use observable. Okay, this is taken from rxstart. So in rxstart stream is called observable. Okay, stream controller is called subject. So this is how we pronounce it. And then we have combine latest two. This is the operator which we can use, which will merge two streams. So first will be the email stream. Okay, definitely. Another will be the password stream. Okay, and when both of these like E and P will have the data, then it will return true, and when it will return true, then we will enable the submit. So let's say if we go to our validator, when this particular validator will use this sync.add email, as well as it will use sync.add password, then only it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so this is the advantage we can take from the rxstart. Now this is one thing we have done. Now we will go to our main.dart and we have to wrap all of our text field as well as button with this stream builder. So here what I will do, I will wrap it with a new widget called stream builder, and then rather than child it will take a builder, and it will take a context comma, it will give us the context comma snapshot, this callback, and same thing we will do for text field. So I'll wrap it with another widget for this text field is for password, but we have to do the same thing, stream builder, then we will replace the child with a builder, then it will give us a context as well as a snapshot, and we can use this operator now, and same thing we will do with the this raise button as well. So we can call it stream builder. Okay, and then this builder, then a context comma snapshot, that's it. So this is what we have. Now we have to specify which pattern will receive which type of stream. So for that we need to have an object for that particular block class. So we can say block is equal to block, it will give us the object of this class. And now using this block for our email text field, we can specify this stream as block.email, because this is the stream which we will be getting. And for our password we can say block.password. Okay, and for our raised button we can say stream block dot we have something called submit check. Okay, and we can also specify their types here so that we can get the what we call it, like this, or it should have a string. Yeah, so we are adding these types so that we can get the intelligence of the id, that what methods are available, all that. So it helps us in compile time, so that is why we are specifying them explicitly. So this is what we have to do now. This is the output part we have done till now, but we have to do the input part as well, right? That how this whatever I will enter here, how it will reach to the block. Okay, this is also a concern. So what we will do, we will make here sync for that, right? Stream sync. So how I will do that, I'll make a function which will take a string, okay, and I can call it, let's say, email changed. Whenever we will change the email, whenever there will be an input, the email will be changed, and I'll ask my email controller to use its sync and then add that, okay. And as you know that it will take a string, so the same thing will be done for password. It will also take a string, and rather than email controller we can say password controller. That's the difference. Now we will go back to our main dot, and now what I'll do in this email part, it has this on changed method, this text field, and now I will use this block, and I can say email changed, so that whenever there will be change in the email, as soon as you will write something, it will go to the block and it will inform the block, the email controller, and then it will add this to the sync property. Now same thing we will do for this text field, and here for on changed we can say block dot password changed, okay. And now here for, we can see that on pressed is null. Now what we will do, we will check for the snapshot dot, if it has data, then it means that we can do something, so we can say like block dot submit, otherwise it will be null. So now we need to make this submit method, so we will go here and we will make another method, let's say submit, okay. And inside this method what we can do, we can, let's say, go to another page or whatever you want to do. So let's say we have another page, let's make a page, page 2 dot, just for the time being we will import the material dot, and let's call it stateless widget page 2, okay. It has a container, and that's fine. Or make it, maybe we can use another scaffold, and we can just say title text page 2, and in the body part also in the center I can just say page 2, okay, fine. Now I'll go to our block, and here I can say when we will click on submit, that means we want to go to navigator. And one more thing guys, this particular submit should not have any logic about the navigator, but this is a wrong approach, but I'm just doing it for making you understand. What we could do, we could give it a callback to the this main dot so that it could perform something. So either that or we could directly use navigator here. So what we can do here in this scenario is like we can directly change the page from here, okay, or we can do anything like that. So let's say we make another method here, let's say change the page, and we could directly use this method rather than saying that yeah, this will be fine, change the page. And we could do something like here, like using navigator, that navigator, a second guys, navigator dot push, okay, of context dot push, and then we can use something like material page route. Okay, what's the problem? It should take a material page route, then it will take a context. What's happening? Okay, I'm doing something wrong. Dot push, where it is push, okay, it is fine till now. Material page route, what it takes a context and gives a builder, This is fine. 1 second, and then we can add something like page 2, whatever name we have given. So isn't it fine? So we need to pass the context as well, so we will pass the context. Let's say context, and then it is saying that we have some kind of issue here. New material, oh sorry, we can avoid this new keyword although, and then we have some kind of issue. What's I'm doing wrong? Okay, we need to import this page 2 as well, and okay, this is fine. What I'm doing wrong here, I don't know. Builder, okay, I was missing the builder. I'm so sorry, and now it should work. Okay, so this is how you will write this code, and now if I'll just do a hot restart, let's see how it works. So this is our email, and okay, it is saying, oh, this is the problem, we need to pass the context here, and let's do something like this. Okay, so now you can see this is already enabled. It should be disabled by default. So let's see what we are doing wrong. So if it has the data, let's do a hot restart again, and then it is not working. Why it's not working, I don't know. Is it fine now? Yes, so it's fine now, and you can see we have this block and this submit. Sorry, we are not using it because we don't want to do any kind of platform dependent thing here. So what we can do, we can print the value of our email. So let's say something like this, email controller dot value. Isn't it fine? Dot, it should have something called a value, and probably it does not have because we are using a normal stream controller. So that's the problem, so we will do this part later. Okay, so now let's try, let's insert some email. 1 2 3. Now it's not showing any error because we haven't used any kind of error in our text field. So here we can just say, if in case of error, we can show something called snapshot dot error. Okay, and this thing we will copy to this password as well, so that it shows error as well. And you can see now the error, which is 1 2, it is not a valid email. 3 4 5, whatever you will write, even if I write pawan, it's not a valid email. As soon as I will enter @ it's a valid email. Now for the password as well, you can see password length should be greater than 4 characters, and now as soon as I will enter 5, it works. But this submit is still not active. What's the reason behind that? Let's check it out. So we'll go to our main.dart. So problem with this is that if we see our debug console, then we will see a lot of that stream has been already listened to, and that's the reason we cannot listen them again and again. So we should make them broadcast, or because we are using rx dart, so we can directly use behavior subject or any of the subject. So the key difference between them is like in behavior subject, the second subscriber will also get the last event. In publish subject, it will work normal stream controller or broadcast, and in replay subject, the second subscriber will also get all the events. So I'll explain this rx dart in maybe in some other video that will be totally for rx dart. And now if I'll just try to run this, then let's see. Oh, so it's saying something. Let's go here. Oh, maybe probably this is the change page dot context, and I should do something like this, I guess. And now, oh, let's try to rebuild this. Okay, this is still disabled. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5, and now it is clickable. So as you can see, now if I will click on submit, it will take me back to page 2. So this is how we achieved this block pattern. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll do more stuff on the block pattern, so don't worry about that. And this is totally fine if you use stream controller dot broadcast here rather than behavior subject or any of the subject which is totally related to rxstart. And the way I am doing this is not the only way you have to do. Let's say if you just directly want to use stream sync here, so you could use something like this. Let's say stream sync, and then we could say string, and the same thing we could do here as well. Okay, and rather than add, we will not add it. Then we will go back here in the main dot, and this will give us the error because it will return us the string. And now we can say that add s. Okay, so this is another way of doing this, and there can be many ways. This is not something which is fixed. This is totally your choice, and now it will also work the same. So the difference between them is this only, and it's totally your choice again. Now if I'll just write here, you can see the same thing happening and it's working fine, right? So it's totally your choice how you want to use them, how you want to use stream sync, or you can make a function or whatever you want to do. So this is how stream basically, or the block pattern works. And then also you can use block provider to have this block initialized there, or maybe you can use a stateful widget. So I'll talk about all of these in future videos. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Thank you so much for joining, and bye bye, take care. And if you enjoyed the video, then press on the like button. Otherwise you can maybe subscribe as well. Press the bell icon. Bye bye, take care, and have fun.